welcome to the Dibley Diaries for this week. This week we're going to be thinking about important things and how we know that things are important. And I've said this before, and I'm sure I'm going to just say it sort of once every 10 Dibley Diaries. It's really important in the Royal Church that we don't get distracted from important things by minutiae. And there are so many little things that need doing in a rural church, not least, and this isn't always a little thing, this is often a big thing, caring for an ancient building. How do we do that? How do the meetings that we have and the objectives that we have balance what we consider is important? For years, one of the churches where I worked, we didn't have any budget for mission. We had loads of budget for fabric, of looking after the buildings and stuff. We had budget for paying our parish share, and we had budget for all sorts of things. And it wasn't until somebody actually pointed out, you know, we don't actually have any budget for mission. What would that look like if we did have a budget for mission, and kind of what would we spend it on? So that was a real challenge for me. A long time ago I worked in a church which had 3 objectives, and I can't remember exactly what they are. I think they were like telling God's story, building the community, or building and serving the community, and something else. But the vicar in charge there was really staunch about it. And when we discuss things at PCC meetings, he'd be like, well, where does that fit into our 3 action points? If we can explain to ourselves why it does fit into our 3 action points, then we can do it. If it does not, we don't do it. We don't do it if it doesn't fit into our action points. He was adamant about it, and that was a really good challenge of actually, are we doing the important things? We need to care for our ancient church buildings. If you have an ancient church building, you will know that. But also there are other important things that we as rural church communities need to be doing. How do we support them and really balance how important that is with the things that we can be distracted by or about? How do we maintain that balance for our church communities? Thought for the week this week is based on the Luke 10 passage, verses 1 to 11 and then 16 to 20. Jesus is sending his disciples out. And I've been thinking about all sorts of things this week about it, but I've also been thinking about the most important things. So there's quite a lot of Jesus actually condensing stuff to tell them what is the most important thing in this passage. Years and years ago, when I first started being a vicar, people thought I knew so much stuff. They thought I knew everything. And what I knew was how to use Google. If I had a vague memory of something in the back of my mind, I could look it up, and then I'd be able to talk about it, and it would bring the stuff back to me. And nowadays, of course, 21 years later, if you use Google, it uses AI to tell you what it thinks, what the algorithm thinks are the most important things. What are the most important things? And I've been thinking about the most important things this week a lot, because Jesus gives them a packing list. It's a very small packing list for their mission. He says, don't take this, just take this, this, this. That's all you need. Don't take any other things. About every time I go on Facebook, maybe every other time I go on Facebook, the algorithm on Facebook thinks the most important thing I need to know about is what to pack if you're going on a pilgrimage to Santiago de Compostela. And you know, I mean, it is quite important, and I guess the algorithm's right. I would be quite interested in one day going on that pilgrimage. But at the moment, I don't need to see what everybody has laid out that they're going to put in their pack and what I think about it. And are they going to take a pair of sandals or a pair of flip-flops for the evening? How many pairs of socks are they going to need? Are they going to need 2 or are they going to need 3? Are they going to need a poncho or a raincoat? What does the difference in weight mean for them? I don't need to know that. because it's not the most important thing. I mean, I'm not even sure it is the most important thing about going on pilgrimage anyway, but I guess people are really kind of carefully preparing for it. So, what are the most important things that the disciples are to do when they visit these towns and villages that Jesus is planning on visiting later? He gives them 3 very clear instructions. If you end up in a place where you are welcomed, you are to eat what is put in front of you, you are to heal the sick, and you are to tell people that the kingdom of God is near. Those are the instructions. Quick tick list. Those are the most important things. Jesus says these are the most important things. What if they end up in a town which doesn't welcome them? What are the most important things then? Well, there's instructions about telling them that you're shaking the dust off their feet, but you are also to tell them that the kingdom of God has come near. The kingdom of God is a puzzling phrase. Understanding what we mean by the kingdom of God is like books and books and books are written about it, but somehow people seem to get a sense for it. It's a bit like how people understand the concept of quality as discussed in Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. People kind of know what the kingdom of God is about. It's kind of about justice, it's about mercy, it's about peace, it's about a lack of suffering. People use lots of adjectives about light to go along with our understanding of what the kingdom of God is. So that is what people are to do. They are to tell people, the disciples are to tell people that the kingdom of God has come near. Now they come back, they're very excited, they're kind of bouncing. Yeah, it worked, Jesus, it worked. We went to people, we did the list of things, and even the demons and spirits obeyed us, all that sort of stuff. They got really back. But then Jesus has some other important things to remind them about. Jesus says, well, this is all very good, and it is important. You can stand on snakes and scorpions and not be harmed. But the most important thing is that your name is written in heaven. The most important thing is that your name is written in heaven. So I think that's a really interesting combination of the 2 most important things from this passage that Jesus has said. The 2 most important things are that Jesus' disciples are to tell people that the kingdom of God is near. I wonder what that might be like for us in our own lives and in the lives of our church communities. What does it mean that the most important thing is for us to tell people that the kingdom of God is near? And also to remember that our names are written in heaven. To remember that our names are written in heaven. Now, in England, we tend not to do much standing on snakes and scorpions. But there are all sorts of other things which can harm us, which Jesus is promising protection from. But the 2 most important things from this passage are Jesus saying, tell people that the kingdom of God is near, and remember that your names are written in the book of heaven. The Dibley moment of the week this week is about a snake. In the Gospel passage, Jesus talked about snakes and scorpions not harming us, but we had one evening service, which I actually wasn't at, where somebody decided to bring their pet snake to the church service. Around their neck, a live, very real snake. Someone else out the door had to say to them, I'm sorry, the policy for this particular church building is that the only animals allowed inside are official assistance animals, and so the snake will not be allowed to stay for the service. So that, I have to say, in the past 21 years, that was the only time I heard of someone trying to bring their snake to church. Well, that's it for the Dibley Diaries for this week. I pray that you and your village, however large or small, have a really blessed week where you know that the kingdom of God is near to you.